everybody. Quite a bit late. I am sorry about that. I lost track of time. I did forget the stream. We were watching a movie with my wife and we got into it, and I totally forgot that I have something to do here. Let me set this up. Hoppa. Okay. There we go. Something like this. All right. Hey, Hossein. Hey. Okay. Drawing cam. Let's see. Do we have anything here? Do I need to cut this back? Not much better, but okay. Let me just set up the focus. Alright, let's see how this works. What's today's subject? I was thinking of just doing some old school industrial design sketching. Before we jump into that, let me also line up some music for the background, and then we can get started. But today is the last live stream. For now, well, not for now. On Sunday we're going to Greece, and we don't really have good internet there. So I'm gonna try my best to do some sort of more Instagram uploads and maybe shorts as videos also here on YouTube if I get the time. But yeah, I still have to figure it out because with baby everything is a little bit different. But alright, so I wanted to warm up just with a or should I put I will put this over here, and I will look at Pinterest, and I want to look at a couple of backpacks. Pinterest, because it's been a while since I drew backpacks, and they are fun industrial design stuff to draw. Back. And I don't know if it was you, Hossein, or who I talked to last time about, no, I think it was just a new person. They were asking about organic. Do you use organic stuff in industrial design? And I said no back then, but actually for backpacks it is quite a good thing to do, organic lines. It's just good to keep a couple of examples open. It was you, but no, you were asking about something else, but I just said backpacks as in it's a good example. music is a little too action. Let me pull down on that then. There we go. Microphone was also a little bit far. We can put that a little bit closer as well. Rue is back. What part of your graphic novel are you working on today? The backpack part. The backpack part. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot for a second that that we have a camera there. So how are you guys doing? How is everything? There we go. Living the dream, Rue guy says. What's the dream, Rue? What's the dream? And Hussein is also good. Just a nice chill Thursday evening, at least on my side. Rue is probably still in the middle of the day, but Hussein is also towards the end of the day. I don't know why video get pauses for me every 1 minute. Oh. I hope that's not on my end. I have like green light. It says excellent connection. If anybody else has issues, please speak up. Maybe I can fix it. Rue, yes, got class tonight. Oh, what are you? Are you teaching or learning? What kind of class? Tonight, it's usually not teaching, right? Hussein, I just came back from a drawing session with my art teacher. Oh, that's nice. I know this is 2005. It's not my side, okay. Hey man, any tips for making quick sketches? As in my country, the design exam requires you to make 30-minute sketches. I mean, yeah. I like to make thumbnails, so this is what you saw here, but let me grab something else. I think I have these. Let me see if this has a bit of a thing in it. So what I like to do, like really quick sketches, I just really try to draw some shapes and I try to see what I can recognize in these shapes. So we're talking about backpacks now. So I'm just gonna throw down a couple of random shapes here and I'm gonna try and see what I can do with them. So just random shapes. And now I wanna see what I can do with this. Sometimes I like to set down a center line. Center line will help me do a little bit of symmetry. And then I just let my imagination run wild and see where it takes me. Hussein, what did you do with your art teacher? Do you get together and draw, or do you just talk, catch up on old times? So this is some sort of almost like a reverse backpack. Also, all these sketchings, I don't know about you, series, but in my case, I don't always go with fast sketches for realism. I sometimes just getting bad ideas out of the way. But as long as you don't draw them and they're stuck in your head, they will bother you. Let me see if I can adjust the light a little bit. Yeah, I think I like this more. Maybe there it works better as well. Pa, pa, pa. Rude, no, I do have one this semester. Okay. Hussein says, yeah, draw with his younger students. Oh, that's nice. That does sound like fun. Alright, let's move on to the next one. It's a bit more rounded. Like, this is clearly a more traditional shape. I also like, I don't know how much it's, but I think it's visible. Like sometimes with a marker, there are like accidents like this. And if you watch any old Bob Ross videos, he talks about happy accidents. So I can see like, oh, maybe there's something here. So I let myself get inspired by whatever my markers do. And you can even see like there's some demarcations here. So I thought like, oh, why not incorporate that into a design? Like have some sort of offset, maybe futuristic design. And then, yeah, I know you asked for like 30-minute sketches, but for me 30 minutes, like you can do quite a bit in 30 minutes. I try to go for like 5-minute or even less sketches sometimes. So this is like some sort of weird solution backpack, maybe even like one of those waterproofs. But you definitely close it a bit differently. That's in the way. Hossein, do you need to know at least some basic knowledge of mechanics of backpacks? I mean, everybody has a backpack. I think everybody has a basic knowledge how backpacks at least look or should look, and that can give you some idea. As an industrial designer in general, you're supposed to have basic understanding of how everything works. I would say that would be my expectation of an industrial designer, that I don't want them to know exactly how things work, but when they look at something, they should have like, oh, I imagine this would work like this. Just because you have experience with many products. So there you go. So three very quick backpack sketches there for you. Rue, all my drawings are happy accident. Mine is a sad little accident. I like to be controlled, so accidents are less Yeah, but accidents are fun. I can recommend accidents. Everybody has cars too, but I don't know cars that much. Of course you know cars. Cars is very easy. Okay, not very easy, but you have a drive train, and then Rue, you can take me apart here if you want to. You have two axles. You have wheels on the axles. In the front, usually you have an engine block. We're gonna keep it simple. Then, because we're probably talking about, well, no, let's keep it old school car, not electric. Then you have some sort of chassis that goes around the whole thing, but before that we can also just break it up into seating arrangement. Would be something like this. And then you can have a small boot in the back, as the British would say. That's all. You know this about the car, right? And then you have a chassis. The chassis is visually, you have a front that goes around the engine and also a little bit around the wheel. Then you have your so-called greenhouse. Is somewhere there. And now let's make it a sedan. And then for the wheel, for the greenhouse, you have three pillars: A, B, C, A pillar, B pillar, and C pillar in the back. Then you have a grill here in the front to let some air go through. We need this less and less with the electric cars that have their engines in different places or in the wheels or wherever they are. That's actually a question to you, Ru. Do you have to like revise your knowledge on cars due to the fact that electric cars are becoming more and more prevalent? Or did you already keep up with this part of the technology and you sort of incorporated that into what you're teaching? Or is it just not really that prevalent, Jesus Christus, in your area? It's not really a problem just yet. There are trunks in America. Yeah, I thought as much. Draw wheels last. I'm terrible at drawing guns too. I'm not good at guns either. I am not good at them. Boots are what you wear on your feet. Yeah. Electric cars still need airflow. Oh, I've been to a couple classes on hybrids and electrics. I saw a lot of electric cars that, at least in the front, were just completely like not really air going in. Maybe they have smaller intakes or somewhere else. Interesting. Let's see. Let's see if we can work a bit more with this one. We have a very sketchy stream today. Not really super oriented towards something. I'm not updated my knowledge, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I know some basics, but I was mostly asking Ru because he's the car expert. Rue, we started teaching hybrids and electric cars this year. Okay, cool. LS Lester Creation. Hi Robert, I'm currently trying to draw a PlayStation controller and I'm having trouble given its organic shape. Advice. Which one are you doing? Are you doing a PlayStation 5 controller, 4 or 3? I guess 5 because that's the most organic shaped one. Let's see if we can take a look at that. I do need to bring that up. I have one downstairs, but I'm not gonna go down now to bring it up. PS5 controller. Hossein, have you tried rendering your sketches by AI, ChatGPT maybe? I mean, you saw me rendering my sketches with InVision a lot, not InVision. Oh wow, Viscom, Jesus! Like I have many live streams where I use Viscom to render. Okay, so I imagine you would like a 3/4 view, right? A PS4. Oh, that's easy. I drew PS4s. PS4 control. That's actually less organic. The 5 is more organic. Ah, PS4 is. That's nice. Images. 3/4. Will you give me a 3/4 view? Ah, there we go. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Thick part. So I'll just draw like this and like this. So what I will do, I will just draw a basic rectangle to start out with. Like draw, you know the draw box exercises. I also always say start with the box and then work back from there. So we have our box, then in the center, in this area, we have the touchpad. So this will be the touchpad. Then we have the D-pad on this side and all the buttons on the other side, something like that. And then we have the 2 joysticks here and there, something like that. And then how is it best to draw this? So basically if I extend this, I should have drawn on a new page, but it's fine. So we'll extend. Basically what I'm doing, I'm transforming this and I'm adding on top of it, what's that? A prism maybe? Something like that. And then I know that I will have the handhelds coming there, and then they come back until here, and then this is sort of the square of your controller, right? Well, the square version. There you have those buttons. Here you have these buttons. And everything here is rounded up, rounded down of course. And there's your L1, R1 and L2, R2 buttons. And then you make sure to round this one as well, because of course it's not square. And here we have like double roundings. First this thing is round, but then also this. Wow. Root teaches auto mechanics, so they don't change that much. Like honestly, this is me not knowing anything, but just because the size of the cars became so big, like if I think back to 80s and everything before, like you could have really nice small cars, and now like even if I look at a Mini, right? Like a Mini Cooper, that in the name Mini, they're not Mini at all. So I thought that you have to, because you put so much electronics in there, that influences what you can or are teaching kids. Robert, if I want to get good at concept art, how much I should know to the real things? I want to get to the fun part sooner. Sometimes organic forms are more than just rounding and bevels. Well, you can always go back to rounding and bevels, but yeah, it depends what sort of organic form you're talking about. A potato can be very random, of course. Where are we? This one. There we go. Okay. Alright, there we have our D-pad. And then this protrudes. The upper shoulder buttons protrude out just a little bit, like that much, let's say. And then the only things that were missing are the two joysticks. Okay. Let's give some rounding to these. What does it look like on the side? Yes, I thought as much. I'm not a fan of this, but let's do it. And then of course you have, is this for the USB? No. This is for, the USB is on the other side. I think this was maybe mic or something on that side. But yeah, something like this. It is often the part that we hold with the hand that causes me the most problem. Yeah. So that asks for a bit of exercise. So that's why I said that if you first draw the square, this is really running dry here. But if we have this square, then what you can do first of all is you can put an ellipse at both ends, and you already have a round object. Now also what Hossein said before, that not everything is just roundings. Like here you can have a bit of fun, because here instead of doing a straight line you can do something like this, and then all you have to do is put in an ellipse every now and then just to reinforce the shape. And what you can do at the end, like here, you can also say, you know what, I'll cut it off, I'll make it a little bit shorter. So do a cut there, and then just put a cap on it. Something like that. Now this is not, of course, I'm not doing the PlayStation shape now. I'm just trying to show you how you do more rounded shapes. And then, as I said, if you do a couple of these section lines, it will just bring home the shape even more. There's your shape. And of course, I'm not a something like that. Then you take a slightly darker marker. This is quite dark. Maybe go a bit lighter, Robert. Somebody's running out of markers. But there you go. Something like that. Powertrain is the only thing different. Bananas aren't random. I wrote them for consistency practice. Hey Nico, welcome man. And then you can say, you can add all sorts of patterns to it. And from here on you're just having fun, of course. Like this is the worst shape for a bike handle, but you could play with the texture a bit as well. Where's my fiber that was making such a nice thing before? You can add some buttons here. But yeah, this is clearly this is not important for learning around things, but it's fun. Looks like a closed vase. Yeah, I can see that. So once again, like if you want to draw any sort of controller, you have your square. Like controllers are a little bit tapered, so that's why I like to taper them out. And then you have the handheld part, and that just connects back. And then again, I make sure that within this tapered shape I can fit something that is rounded. And then many times you just have to draw the outline of it, and then make sure to just add one or two section lines. Rugai, what is important for learning? What do you mean? It's a bit too thick. So especially when you're sketching, your underlaying sketch, your initial sketch, does a lot of the heavy lifting. Like right now, I don't necessarily have to do any section lines because my underlying sketching already conveys a lot of that. But of course, I want to make sure that it is understood. So I'm going to add some lines there. Dave Morgan. Hi Robert, lately been going through a lot of your videos. Love your funny intros. Thanks for the spectacular content. Thank you very much for those kind words. I'm glad you like my stuff. Ru, you said round things weren't important for learning, so what is immode? Oh, I said round things. I guess that's just like mindless babber. I think everything is important for learning, but there's like my brain, so this is not universal, right? But my brain likes to approach everything with basic shapes and just breaks things down to basic shapes. And that's why I say that for me, I don't necessarily need to learn round things. Like this is an organic shape, right? This is an organic shape. It's a potato, a very weird alien potato. Like if I add a couple of section lines and I add a little bit of hatching to it, you sort of understand what it is. But I can also look at that as, oh, there is one cylinder there and another cylinder here, and then there is another cylinder there. And then when I tie this together, I sort of have this shape, right? So like I see these things in there. When I see something organic, I see these things in it, and I just build on those. I guess that's why I said that round things are not important. Of course they're important, but for me, like you have the basic shapes. You have or this, of course, this could be spheres as well. You just put 1, 2, 3 spheres, and then you're gonna put in these section lines so you see the spheres better, and then just connect them. So that's how I approach things. You know, when you search design sketching on YouTube, your fundamental videos are the first to come up. I did not know that. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. LS the Creation. Thank you, Robert. You made me want to train again. I will try the cylinder distortion technique. Huge thank you. Very welcome. Very welcome. It is, like, I also agree with what Hossein said, that there is industrial designers fall in the trap of drawing everything with just doing chamfers and doing cuts nicely off. So if you have a square, industrial designers just love to do everything. Oh, okay, let me round these corners, and then I have something that is not a square, and it's much more organic. And not really. It is rounded. It is rounded, all right, but it is not necessarily organic. So you have something that is much not calmer, more, no, I don't want to say more pleasant, but smoother to the eye than a square. But it's not organic. Of course, organic can be whatever. Like you can have a vase, because we talked about vases before, and you can just say, let me add a couple of ellipses there, and then you do like some crazy outline, and then this is your vase, and this is a very organic shape, right? You still controlled it, you still constructed it, but it can look quite organic. So it is sort of bringing knowledge and patience, everything together. Maybe you should make some more tutorials, you think? You haven't done any. I know, Ru, I know. I have at least 2 in the pipeline, but I don't know. I just do not have necessarily the motivation to sit down, because it's more work than just as fun. Hey, let me draw a spaceship video. I'm still in the phase of like I'm a bit drained from the baby, and I find it hard to get myself to sit down and do more, well, work, let's call it work, in my free time. I want to get back there. I want to get back there mentally, but I'm not there yet. Nico, from what I understand, organic is when you can't really measure it, like, I don't know, plants. Yep, can't make an exact blueprint of it. Yeah, but I mean, even with plants, like you can do the like, oh, one what is it? Jesus, cylinder, 2 cylinders. Then you can add a 3rd cylinder. Then let me add like a very squished cylinder. And then I add prisms. Perspective is a bit messed up now, but let's forgive me for that. And then you just add sheets that don't actually have a thickness. Like, it's not organic, but you know that the thing itself is organic. And if I would say, do I have a mild one here? I hope this is somewhat mild. And then if I say, okay, clearly this describes this sort of shape, and this describes this sort of shape, then you're slowly coming up with something that's more organic. So I always think that you can sort of build up something organic. It's been over 3 months. Yeah, exactly. I know. And that was also just a walkthrough. It's yeah, not going well. For more organic things, I think Charles dynamic sketching is good. That sounds familiar. Charles Hugh dynamic sketching. No audio, please. Yeah, but if you look, he does the same thing. He goes from a bunch of like ellipses and stuff like that and he builds up in layers. He does sections as well. Any tips to achieve realistic proportions? Measuring, like just do a lot of life scale. Like my car proportions are not so good, but I don't know if you know artists do this. So you have your hand here, and then you're holding your pencil in your hand, and then you look at something. Like let me see if it's visible here. Like if I hold my pencil here, if I want to measure how thick this is, I'm gonna put my finger there, and I say, okay, wow, this is hard. This is this thick, right? And how many times does this fit here? So let's say 1, 2, 3, right? So if I look at this drawing, if I saw it, I would say, okay, 1, 2, 3, X distance, and here I also have an X distance. And then I take a look at this, like this line is at half. So I use this to measure it. So the thickest line is here in the middle, and then I just go up and down, and I know here that I can't go thicker than that X that we agreed upon. And this way you keep proportions the same. So it's all about measuring and translating. That's what you have with miniatures when it says 1 to 122. Like you have your Gundam figures that if you would make them in real life, they would be 122 times bigger, but the proportions all stay the same. So that's what you try to do with this as well. Yeah. So it's all about measuring, and the more you do this with real life stuff that you see outside. So also when you go out, I recommend urban sketching. So just go out into your city, look at the buildings, and just keep on measuring. Okay, there's the building. I point my pen at it, I take a distance on my pen. How many times does that distance fit into the building? How many of those distances are between windows, or in all directions? And the more you do this, the more you get used to it. And then the next thing, a little bit more, that's more harder, is live sketching. Because then you just see a human, and then they're going to have like a weird shape or pose, and then you have to like, okay, so this is the chest, but the chest was this long. If I take that distance, how many times does it fit? So it's the same thing. So like you will see people rotating and trying to see how many times they can put a distance into a human body. Hossein, where should I start for concept art? What sort of concept art do you want to do, Hossein? Like, do you want to do character art? Do you want to do props like I do? Do you want to do environments? I would say whatever you prefer, just do that. Nobody said we'd have to do math. Well, you have to do a little bit. A little bit of math is good in everything. Okay, let me finish this. Or see if I can finish this backpack that we started with. So everything except robots and mechs. Cars are cool too. Well, that's not how concept art works. Concept art is you have people who are good in drawing people who are good in drawing things, people who are good in drawing backgrounds and environments. And usually you specialize in one, and then that's what they hire you for. There are people who are good at everything, but it's rare. Most people are really good at something. I'm not that good with humans or environments. I'm good with objects, stuff like that. So this is also where I want to get better, because this is where my value would be then. So then you find the one that you are better at, and then you try to deepen that, try to get better at what you are already somewhat familiar with. At the same time, of course, it would be smart to better yourself at the other ones as well. So you have to have a little bit, not a lot. You can see a lot of concept artists who draw vehicles or environment, mostly vehicles, and they have like really ugly humans, but then they just do a couple of skeletons in there, so you have sort of an idea what the proportions are. But it is not their priority. So that's how you have to think. Oh, music stopped. Why did music stop? We want music back, please. Okay, we are done with this, I see. Live stream. There we go. I'm okay with creatures and characters. I wanted to do illustrations and design for my illustrations. For example, fish car for my illustrations. Well, you don't need... Like, the illustration and concept art are two very different things. I know plenty of concept artists who are amazing concept artists that don't know how to draw. Okay, don't know how to draw, not correct, but don't really draw that well. Like, but they are great with 3D, they are great with photo bashing, they are great with creating an impression and being able to sell what they're creating. And illustration is telling a story with mostly only visuals, I think. So it's not quite the same. I know they are not different. Yeah, but you were asking about how to get started in concept art, no? Or did I misread your question? Yeah, you asked where should I start for concept art, so I got a bit confused there. There's nothing to be sorry about. It's not a problem. But I don't think you need to, like you say, for example, I want my cars to make sense. Well, if you want your cars to make sense, the simplest for that is just copy your car. Like what's this? That's the easiest way to make them make sense. Just use a car that exists. That makes sense. Like a lot of illustrators, comic artists, they just take existing cars and use those as example. And then you don't have to worry about it making sense or not. Oof. That's what time is it there, Robert? Right now it's 20 minutes to 10. I want to render with color alkyl markers. Primary and secondary colors are enough. For my taste, for what I like, I think it is. Like I'm probably gonna add maybe one more color to this, and that's that. I don't feel the need to overwhelm it with colors. But if you're talking about illustration, there it could work as well, actually. I don't see why not. Like if you look at like my favorite to go to is Bill Watterson's Calvin and Hobbes. Like he's very good with colors, but he also keeps it very limited. So I think that is a good example for you. What colors should you? Now that's Trickery question, right? I would say, since you're still learning, take a look at your favorite cartoonist or comic book creator or whatever. See what their palette is. Like, choose one that is limited. For example, Garfield or Calvin and Hobbes, this case. Take a look what colors they're using and see if you can try and imitate or stick to a more limited palette like this. See how that works for you. Hey, evening Robert, hope you all... I am, thank you, I've been good. Yeah, not really a lot of presence on YouTube, as you could see. Life is pretty keeping me busy, so I can't complain. What about you? So Robert, you say I can make things up in illustration, use weird silhouettes and it don't need to make sense? I mean, yes and no. Everything needs to make sense in its own context. Like, if you have like a story that takes place on a nonsensical plane of existence where everything is distorted, then it makes sense for that context. It would not make sense for modern day life, but it would still make sense for your story. But as long as you have a functioning story or world that you created with rules, and if it works with those, then in that case I don't think things need to be the same as in our world. I mean, complete sense, function-wise. Yeah, once again, if you have an alien world where everything is distorted and bleep burps come out of flip flurps and they melt together to form a schmorp, and that makes sense, then that's fine. None of these things make any sense in our world, neither functionally, not mechanically, nor anything. But if it makes sense in the world that you're creating, then nobody's going to complain about that. Like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Balls, I don't know if you watched it, but humans can fly when they're fighting. In our world that makes no sense, like mechanically that doesn't work, functionally that doesn't work. But if you look at the Dragon Ball Z fighters, it makes sense because they train so hard and they learn all these techniques and then they just learn how to fly. Nobody questions that. But in our world, it would be very weird to see that. So that's why I'm saying, like, it really depends on the context. All right. Yeah, I think this song played several times because it seems familiar to me as well. Exactly. All right. So I think unless people have more questions, I will end this here. Was a fun stream. It's been a while since I drew more technical industrial designery stuff. Always enjoy these. But yeah, I think we will call it. And then I see everybody in a month, somewhere in October, probably in the beginning of October, when I'm back from vacation. Don't forget, September is Shiptember, so there's a lot of ships to be sketched and enjoyed. I will try and partake in as many Shiptember sketches as possible. Alright, ladies and gents, back from where I said at the beginning of the stream that I'm going on vacation. All of September I will be gone in Greece. We need a bit of chilling very badly with the wife, so we're going away. But yeah, all right. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked this stream, and I hope to be back in October and have a lot more fun with everybody. Until then, goodbye everybody.